Hey, family. Hey, family. Family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. 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 Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. I'm going to say Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Uh, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Hey, family. I was upstairs chilling out. And it seemed like time is just flying. And I'm upstairs, I'm chilling. And I didn't go to sleep till like about, I know it was past 8 this morning. Because my 8 o'clock alarm went off on my phones. And I dozed off after that. I was on my man BG talk show last night, live stream, until like about 5, I believe. And I wasn't trying not to hang out that late again, but it was really interesting. So, but let me, y'all know, I'm Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. And my regular schedule times are Mondays, Wednesdays, and 4. It's supposed to be from 4 o'clock till 4:45. But I tend to, that's my schedule, but I'll go past it. Where it might end up being whatever I'm talking about, mainly if somebody else start interacting with me. Today is my 12-step spiritual journey. So if you don't understand, January the 26th, a day at a time, I'll have 32 years clean. God's will. 32. So basically what I do as a recovering addict, I come on here and I will share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes. You can't take that from me. That's mine. They're mine. So whatever I say, I have experienced it. You go through your trials and tribulations. I have experienced certain things. I have learned from those things. And what I do, I have no problem. Like some of y'all might not care to talk about on social media. I'm going to say your personal life, right? Some of y'all might not care to do that because you'll tell yourself, everything ain't for social media. Everything ain't for social media. Listen to what I'm saying out my mouth. Everything ain't for social media. Everything ain't for social media. That's why I call social media. Social media. It didn't say insecure media. It said social media, where you socialize with others on the live stream. And to some people, that is true for you. Keep that up front. If you kind of like the type of person that don't, like telling your business, I don't blame you. I can't blame you. But that's why my show is called The Couch Conversation, Keeping It Real. And in the process of me starting this show, because I am a God fearing man, that's my relationship and my connection with God, not yours. I'm talking about me. So you have to learn to develop that. But it started out for me. Basically, I started going back, to the church because I grew up as Baptist, and I started going back to the church. But after a couple of years being there, 5 years, I weaned off. But anyway, I was starting to build a connection again through the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. That's a 12-step spiritual program, just like AA, okay? Just like they have like codependency 12-step programs for people that have a tendency of wanting to fix other people's lives. They have a section edition, or on TikTok, a smacks addiction program. So whatever you begin to come obsessive and compulsive with, thank you, they have programs that you can go and basically get intervention help, get help. So what I decided to do was on Wednesday share my experience of the 12-step spiritual program. Now, because of that, I gained a relationship with God. I gained a relationship with the Son. Don't mix it up with the religion now. I gained a relationship I gained knowledge of the Creator. Because of that, I was introduced personally to the Son. So if you hear me say I am a follower and I am a lover of Jesus Christ, I'm just impressed about the man that came to the earth, that came into human form and walked among this earth. See how simple I'm making this? See how simple? Because that's what the 12-step program is all about. You know, keeping it simple. Now, and the process of understanding that, and I'm gonna wind it down, right? I began to gain after Christ, the relationship with Christ. I began to my journey had started becoming spiritual. And when I talk about spiritual, I'm talking about living according to morals, values, principles that our parents tried to teach us as we was coming up. Morals, values, principles, understanding the difference between right and wrong. So here we go. I come from that destructive lifestyle. And I know I have to watch the way I put stuff because I'm on TikTok too. So now keep in mind, what I'm getting ready to talk about, is my 12-step spiritual journey. And it's somewhat based around the religion. But because I understand that's traditional and that's man made, and God started winging me into that close connection with Him. So whenever I talk, y'all, people have a tendency, they want to talk about other people's stories that's in the scriptures. And that's fine. I'm just not there no more today. Okay. So the journey is spiritual. Now, when I was 11 years old, and I have to share this all the time to kind of give you a little history of where I was at. I was doing this, right? And round 13, my cousin gave me, a matter of fact, let me show y'all. See this cup like this? It was a cup on this side. They was, I forgot the name of them, but it was cups on this side. He gave me a whole cup, a Thunderbird, a Thunderbird, my 13th birthday, and it made me think I was grown. Now, mind you, I was a teenager. Because my family and us did what we did, I began to start, because I loved cocaine. Now, mind you, by this time, I'm 14. So I'm only saying this because listen closely. You might have a child, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 10, 8, 9. That blows me away that young now. I'm telling y'all. So I can only go to this when I was 11. But you might have a child that's caught up, and doing certain things, and you might not wonder why. Because they might not have seen it from you, but it's a learned behavior for some. Look at who I'm pointing at. Get out. Move your hand. For some, it became a learned behavior. So at 13, 14, and I remember because I had a summer job, right? And I asked my cousin, I said, can you shoot this? Because by the time I was doing this and I got to my summer job, I didn't feel it no more. So I said, I ain't feeling it. She said it don't last long. So I asked her, I said, can you hit me? Can you do it that way? She was like, yeah. So she hit me. Now, mind you, by this time, they makes me so sick. It's like they cannot wait for me to get on here to throw certain things at me. All right. I don't know. Um, I just read through TikTok guidelines, and y'all talk about respecting people's First Amendment rights. Y'all talk about respecting people's First Amendment rights. And it seemed like when I come on, I'm being deliberately targeted. I haven't even been on here for a good 10 minutes. Well, say 15, because I see it's almost 15 minutes to open up my mouth. And then I'm talking about a life situation that occurred. Y'all make me think that whenever somebody come on like myself, y'all get a red something, a signal or something to let y'all know I'm here. And I was sharing last night before I opened up my mouth one day when I came on TikTok, y'all sent the restriction. And I didn't even say nothing yet. Do y'all know how disgusting this is? When a person come on and they talk about life on life term situations, and I try to watch the way I say certain things, but when I get to talking and I know certain things I can't mention, TikTok, but will you allow me to at least talk? So I read through the guidelines the other day, yesterday. I read through them. Now, I don't know what y'all expect for people to come on here and do. I done been on lives where they are raw, real raw. And I was telling the host that you got to kind of, mute certain things because I know how y'all come. And we F1 and F1 and F1. And do you know, understanding that y'all are infringing, or however that word goes, on my First Amendment rights? And they do the same things. They start doing the same things to me on Facebook. I don't like that because it might not be personal, but y'all sure do make me feel like it's a personal target against me. Now I'm sitting up here talking on my TikTok, and I'm talking on my regular broadcast network, right? And then all of a sudden I'm on my my restream, my Instagram too. But then all of a sudden I can't get no connection. Do y'all realize how frustrating that is? And I wanted to embed TikTok into my restream platform, and I want to embed my Instagram into my restream, which will give me 7 platforms to broadcast to. But then if I put them in there, which I know the way I talk, right, you'll take it down. And now I got to close out my Instagram because once again, I think y'all target certain people, knowing that I'm an activist, knowing that I'm a human rights advocate. And I think y'all target certain people. And my goal to embrace people and build people up, not tear them down when I come on here. So if I say certain things, that's only to get you to see it and take a look at it. And if it applied to your life and you can use it to better your life, that's the whole goal. And it's not to go against the community guidelines. It's just sometimes when you're keeping it real, that's what it's called. Keeping it real with Steve Copeland on the couch, the Couch Conversation Show. Y'all make me want to call Trump. Say, hey, bro, you know what TikTok doing? Get him out of here. And we know I don't even think they're going to ban y'all, really. That's just to get to the people. I don't think they're going to ban you. But guess what? If they do stop y'all, because somebody going to come in where they're going to purchase so much of it, where it still can be used in the United States. See, y'all just threw me off. Y'all just threw me off. Because I came on to share about my spiritual journey, my 12-step spiritual journey. And even when I was talking about, the stuff like that, right? I was trying not to use the actual words, you get me? Because I know you can't say but so much over here. So I was trying to play with words, TikTok, and saying what I was saying. Because I know. And I'm trying to, come on. So I'm going to just say I respect that. Because I'm trying to be honest, kind of be more professional in the way I put stuff. I want to be fake and phony like everybody else. But sometimes I can't. When you call yourself keeping it real, I can't. I have to keep it real. Because other than that, I would be a liar. I would be fake. I would be phony. And I know y'all listening and looking because I was only making gestures. So I know y'all looking. You must got something over there that soon Steve Copeland come on with his big mouth, right? Beep, 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 beep. I know y'all do. But look, when I go in and appeal it, y'all know it wasn't, meant to hurt nobody. And I'm talking about TikTok, y'all. Because it's never for me to hurt nobody. And it's never for me to throw hints as far as, some people might try to throw hints towards doing a war thing or being rebellious or, stuff like that. Rebellion. I'm just saying. I ain't into none of that. But I'm just saying. I'll move away from people that I know that's kind of bringing people together that's unhealthy. Those are words. I'm just talking around stuff. But I'm going to share this as a community organizer, as a community human rights advocate, as a community activist. I can only share from a level. I can talk about anything I want, be honest. I'm just saying my opinion and how I feel about stuff. But I'd rather share my experience, strengths, and hopes because you never know who's in the house by themselves. Who you never know who's disabled and can't get out and get about, So this is their outlet for making it through the day. So I read your guidelines, the community guidelines, so I could better understand, excuse me, what to say, basically, and what not to say, because it's not to be offensive. It's for educational purposes only. Now, let me get back to what I was trying to say. Because my journey in the 12-step spiritual program, the goal is to help motivate and encourage others if they are living a certain way of life and they don't know that you can turn your life around. So you want to restrict me on letting people know who's living a certain way of life and what you can do to recover from that? So y'all don't want people to know what it is to turn their lives around? And from what I've read in your community guidelines, it was talking about like empowering and embracing people. So I'm not, I wanted to say I'm not targeting a specific group of people, but basically we kind of can say that, because I'm only speaking to the ones that looking to turn their lives around or looking to live a better way of life. And if y'all don't allow somebody like me to come on and share that, y'all don't want them to change. And I look over there and now you got like 2 restrictions there. For what? For what? So now, mind you, this is how I look at it. As a human rights advocate that fights for people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights, I'm only coming on here and I can only share with y'all where I come from and where it used to be. So you telling me basically don't do that. Because that's what a lot of our politicians do. That's what a lot of our organized religions do. Because that's their way of enslaving and entrapping, or enslaving, and oppressing the people. So that's what y'all doing to me? Come on. Because you told me. You can speak. You have the right. Your First Amendment right. I'm telling you, I'm reading it. But then I see how y'all put other little things in here, like uh, you can't say this, you can't say that. So, but and we're not trying to control what you say. Is that not in there? And yes, you are. Yes, you are. You don't know who might need to hear what people say out their mouths, just to help motivate them and encourage them. But I'm gonna try to get back over here a little bit more, right? Uh, Cause that's the goal. Like I came down, I was gonna lay, I was up there, and I realized, right, I didn't get up till 12 anyway. But I'm like, but Steve, this is your scheduled time. Somebody somewhere, TikTok needs to hear something positive. A lot of people are dealing with depression during this time. This is a hard season for some, the holidays, even for me. So I have to try to stay in a positive mode no matter how I feel. Now, I don't know if it has a lot to do with my age now. And I'm going to try to tie that in with, because I want to keep it straight, right? Um, and as I was going down, checking over my social pages, some people that I know do a lot of great work in Baltimore City in helping and empowering other people was talking about being down. And these are people I'm used to seeing doing some positive stuff. So to let y'all know, the same with me. As a human being who try to, stay focused on positive stuff, sometimes I'll fall into that woe is me mode. And I'll have to tell myself, come out of it, Steve. Get out of it, Steve. Now, let me share why I do that, right? Because I was taught by working on myself. It's like doing a self inventory where I sit down and I have to ask myself, okay, Steve, what's wrong? Okay, Steve, what's going on? Now, the reason why I can do that, and y'all do it too, but the reason why I can do it, because I was taught how to work on myself. Whatever situation I might be dealing with. Now, watch where I go. I got to understand mainly if my life is spiraling out of control. I am powerless over my addiction. And I'm sorry, because I know that's one of the words y'all don't like us to use. I am powerless over, no, I think I can use that, right? Look at this mess. I'm powerless over, the obsessive and compulsive behavior, right? Obsessive and compulsive behavior. No matter what it is that I tend to, lose control over. So once I'm able to see that, admitting that powerlessness, once I admit my powerlessness, I gain power over whatever it is. Because I realize whatever it is that I'm struggling with, I see it now. So the point is doing the work. So once I admit my powerlessness, I gain control over it. Now, this where the faith come in there. And I'm talking about spiritual principles. Because I'm talking about number one, being honest. Number two, having faith or having an open mind. So once I'm able to believe that a power greater than myself will restore me from that behavior, I made the decision to turn my will and life over to that power greater than myself, which is now, it's like my higher power. It's something outside of me that I had to learn to focus on and build faith, trust, and hope in. But it's mainly I'm building all of this back in Steve. This is the how of the program. This is the how, HOW, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. So I had to be honest, and I did a self-inventory. I did a fearless and moralist inventory on self. So I had to go inside of here to find out, why am I struggling with certain things in my life and I'm losing control over whatever it is. So I had to look deep inside. That's a fearless moral inventory. So guess what? I'm being honest with myself once again, but I'm doing it now on a deeper level of being honest. So in the process of that, I did the fearless and moral searching inventory to find out what is going on inside this grown man, that he's starting to act like that little boy again, or that kid again, because he's being irresponsible, right? So in that process of doing that, and I started seeing some stuff because of the faith and the trust that I gained, because I'm looking at these spiritual principles now, or no, liabilities like jealousy, insecurities, distrust, stuff like that. And I'm looking at what's causing me resentment, anger, fear, which causing me to act out in a negative way. Because of that now, I'm beginning once again to gain faith and trust in me. It's basically already there, but I'm doing it on a deeper level now. So that's being honest with myself again, looking at myself again, and being willing, because now I recognize what character defects are causing me to act the way I act. So I'll pray and say, God, please take this from me. Once I see it, I had to become willing to allow God to remove those negative, aspects that I act out on, like the jealousy, the insecurities, the resentments that I may be carrying, all this type of stuff, right? So I didn't realize, but now I do, a day at a time, because I'm asking God to fill me when I see that anger, the jealousy, the insecurities with the positive side of things. So if I'm carrying a resentment, I have to learn to forgive. So if I'm feeling hatred, I had to learn to love. So TikTok knocked that, okay? Because now what I'm saying is we building up in the inside of the individual. So a day at a time, I had to pray and ask God to remove those negative things from me. But now listen to what I said, a day at a time. Because a lot of us have a tendency, and I'm going here with it. If you are a religious person, deliverance is only a day at a time, because there's no guarantee you're going to live to see tomorrow. So when you surrendering your will and your life, that's just for the day. And it's no guarantee. If you make it to 12 o'clock, thank God. 12:01, you in another day. Might be nighttime, but it's only for that day. Now watch what I'm saying. So I had to ask him to remove those things from me that caused me to act out in a negative way. Now I'm sharing the 6th step with you. I'm sharing the 7th step with you. In that process, once again, I got to look at me and look at why I was acting out on those negative behaviors. Guess why? Because it's a lot of people I hurt in that process. It's not about what they done to me. It's more of what I done to them because of what was done to me. And I took that out on other people that didn't deserve it. So I had to make a list of the people that I harmed. So guess what? I had to go back in again, because I had to make a list of the people that I heard it throughout that process, that when I was living that destructive lifestyle. See, now I'm not living that life like that. So now I got to make a list. That's 9th step. 10th step. 9th step. Because they go together. I had to go back and to make amends to the people that I hurt. That was frightening because y'all see, I talk. And what I was taught, you don't have to be direct. If I done something to you in a certain way, it's not for me to go and say, remember when such and such and such and I did this and I did that? I was told don't be too direct. Because a lot of times people might not remember the harm you caused to them. So just apologize for the harm that you may have caused to them. Because the goal was to set yourself free, to set me free. See, it's not about nobody else. It's about the shame and the guilt, the embarrassment, and all of that I was carrying for all those years. Then I was carrying my mother's stuff, my brothers, whatever, somebody else's. But I had to let that go because that was their stuff. And I couldn't carry their stuff. I had to own up to my own stuff. So I would start doing in that process too, right? I would start doing prayer and meditation. Because understand, I'm going deeper in my connection with the spirit. Not based around no religion. My journey is going spiritual. So I would pray, and pray is just communicating with God. If I choose to get on my knees, I can get on my knees. If I choose to sit in this chair and talk with him, that's communicating, that's prayer. And sometimes, check it out, I ain't even gotta open up my mouth. God, you know me. You created me. Before I say anything to you, you know, whether I'm lying or you know, manipulating, he already know. So when I pray and I talk with God, I gotta be straightforward because he already knows Steve. So I might tell him sometimes, Lord, just you know what I'm trying to say. You know, stuff like that, right? Because that's where my relationship began to go. That's where it began to go. Prayer, communicating, meditation is listening for his answer. I'm talking with him. Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you need me to do? Do you really want me to continue doing these lives? Do you continue wanting me to work in the community as far as rehabbing or talking with people so that we can rehab and revitalize houses and build back up in the inner city, but blocks, building back communities of houses? Or I'm starting to look at tiny houses, fabricated houses, container houses. So you might find vacant property. So this is how me and God talking. Is this what you want me to do, Lord? Put the people in my life. I'm talking about like-minded people. Put people in my life that can help me move this forward for you. I'm communicating with him. I am talking with him. That's prayer. If you want to burn candles and incense and all that type of stuff, hoop die, humdally, and all of that, that's fine. You want to the south, to the north, to the east, to the west, that's fine. But then I have to quiet the mind down because now I'm trying to listen for his answer. And sometimes it might not be clear enough. Or I might not get it right then and there during that time of meditating. But guess what? When y'all talk with me, I have to be open minded because as y'all talk with me, you might not realize it. But that's the spirit talking through you to give me the answer. If it don't just come. So it's more than one way. I was taught early on, never close your mind to how God try to communicate back with you through meditation. Because I was in a form of meditation one time, and it was like something touched me, and I jumped. Basically, it scared me. And what I was told from that, never fear God or the way he tried to reach you. Because I don't know actually what it was. It was just that a certain time during the day, around about 8, when I was working, the lunchtime, I would just do my little prayer thing. You know, I don't mean prayer thing. I don't mean to make it sound like that. Then I would just sit there quiet. And it was like I was touched. And I jumped. And I was told never to close my mind to where God try to reach you. And from that point, I began to understand too, sometimes I might not get it right then and there. But never close your mind. Then as time went on, I began to understand, mainly if I'm sitting in my church, um, whenever God is speaking, well, the pastor is teaching and everything, I'll go like this. Because I have to defocus off the person. And I'm not talking about religion, y'all. I have to defocus off the person, right? Because I will look at the person. I might look at the suit they got on. I might look at the way they, posing or presenting things. And I'll get caught up and I might miss the message. So I'll go like this because I want to hear, mainly if the message is for me, I want to hear as you speak from your spirit and as God is speaking to you, is he's trying to tell me something, but like giving me the answer. And sometimes I would get it, and sometimes I might not get it right then and there. Now, for some of y'all that might not understand what I just did, I just shared my 12-step personal experience. Once God make something known to me, this is the 12th step. You go out and you do it. Once he make his word clear to you and me, then you go forth and do what he asked you to do. Now I'm going to share this with you because I've been seeing people come after Jamal Bryant. And every time they do, I come for them. Because if you call yourself a believer, if you call yourself a follower and a lover of Jesus Christ, how can you condemn his own people? Now, I'm going to share this with y'all too. A lot of y'all don't throw stones at people. You throw blocks, bricks, something very, very, I'm trying to think of those, the big ones that we pick up, right? Like bulldoze, not the bulldozers, but the big bricks I'm reading it and I'm watching people and I'm like, David, King David. See, this showed me how much a lot of people know about scripture. King David had about 100 and something wives. King David had concubines, or if I'm not pronouncing it right, y'all know what I mean. So he laid with different women. King David unalived Bathsheba's husband so he can get that thing. But you know what God told him? Say, you are a man after my own heart, Steve Copeland. And I love you anyway, no matter how you stumble and fall. Now watch what I say now. I got ordained deacon in 2009. Very well known, very know scripture very well. But that did not stop me from stepping outside my marriages. And if you let me talk to you, I'll tell you why. And you can go and quote any scripture you want. But do you realize the only way God will honor a divorce is when you commit adultery? Check out your information before you start sending people stuff. Compared to what Mark said or Luke said or John said. And I'm saying this to people that like to go, you know you ain't supposed to do it. You ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to do this. God already knew I was going to do it before I did it. You didn't. I didn't. And I had to come to reality, right? He knew me before the foundation of this world. Now, it's not to mix the two. Don't get it wrong. It's not to mix the two. But now, when I was into the religious side of everything, oh, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you accept him as your Lord and your Savior? See, I was all in that. Everybody don't follow by way of the Holy Scriptures. I didn't understand that. Now I do. So God has his own special way of dealing with his people. And some of them he already accepted and didn't go away by Christ. Y'all better do your research. I don't want to get too religious on y'all. But when I first read where God said, let us create man in our own image, and he created them, he wasn't talking about Adam and Eve at that time. I don't even know, be honest with you, if the man that he actually was talking about was Adam. Do your research. The woman, from what I read up about, right? The woman was Lilith. And she's supposed to be a myth and everything, right? She's supposed to be a Jewish myth. I don't really know if it's true or not, but from what I read, what he said from that scripture, why would he put Adam back to sleep and then create the woman from his rib? When in the beginning, he created them and they was created and molded from the same dirt. Now, you can go and put it over there where he put Adam back to sleep and created that helper, because that's what I was seeing for the longest time. And then I questioned it. I'm like, hey, ho, 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 ho. So you can find, right, if biblically don't clear a lot of stuff up for you, I just asked the Holy Spirit to better help me understand, what is this passage talking about? What is this verse talking about? And then I'd be like, oh, I get it now. Because I began, and I'm going back to this 12-step spiritual, because my journey became personal. And I'm only sharing, like I said, from a level of my own personal experience. If you have not seen that, you can share with me your experience, or I'm going to say your knowledge, ideas. You can share that. But then keep in mind, you talking to a person that actually experienced the things that he's talking about, and you have not. So you're talking from this. You basically sharing from your knowledge, your opinion, your ideas, what you think. And you stand firm on it. And it's okay. Because guess what I had to do in that process? I had to respect your ideas, your opinions. Because if that's what you think and that's how you feel, then I'm like, hey. And I'll share a personal experience and it will go, vroom. Excuse me. Because my Diet Pepsi, I drink that gets me gas, make me belch. And I look at it like this too. I'm 62 years old. So what I used to do, it don't feel right no more. Because I understand the difference between right and wrong. We can call it sin. We can call it basically anything around that. But when you have a connection with the creator and you're familiar with his words like, Steve, you can't do this. Steve, you can't do that. Steve, you can't lay with that man the way you would lay with a woman. I understand that because he's talking to me. You might read that, but it might not resonate in that sense with you. But you find somebody that you desire, which is the same sex. Who am I to judge you? The thing is, and I'll tell anybody and I'll tell everybody, because guess what? Christ loved them anyway. Just don't like the behavior. See, y'all won't tell people that. You will beat them down for their behaviors. And the only reason why I'm saying this, because the word is talking to me when I'm reading and when I'm studying. So I had to stop taking my beliefs and pushing them on you. I used to do that. I used to do, well, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Why? If that's what they like, that's what they like. And BG, I gotta say this, bro, because that conversation last night was deep. Because you had women that have other women and was telling them why they enjoy, the same. And none of them was listening. One lady said, and thank you, beautiful. She said, I was born like this. I don't push what I do on my children. It's not like they physically sitting there watching them, No, I had to cut in a few times. I said, listen to what they are saying. And I would ask one girl, I would say, such and such and such. How long you been doing this? How long, or when did you find out And some of them might have said, one said 5 years old. Most of them were saying like 10, 12. They knew what they was more attracted to. But they tried to be with the same, the opposite, the opposite. But it wasn't turning them on like that. That wasn't where their desire was at. And I would ask them, say this again, say that again. And then we had one lady on it. I don't care what you said or I said out my mouth. She's a Christian. No, I'm not a Christian. She's a basher. Now she's not a basher. I'm not bashing people. I'm not doing this. But then she would, boom, go left. I said, that one's bipolar is all outdoors. And then she came for me. I said, you don't do that, sis. So now we argue. And we supposed to be followers. We supposed to be lovers. We supposed to be, of Christ. But now I did it to be personal. Because that other dude showed up. And my thing is, because she wasn't allowing nobody to actually talk. Every time somebody would talk, she'd come in. She would come in. And the host would tell her too, let them talk, let them talk. And he kept having to mute her. But then on top of that, because y'all love negativity, he skyrocketed in viewers. And he messaged me, right? Me and him was talking, right? I was like, mute her, man, mute her. He said, he sent me something that said, because of the way she was behaving and acting, he seen his views goes up. Man, see, I know all about that when you on here like that. The importance of, being seen and having great topics to talk about. Because I'm telling y'all, I loved it because that was up my alley. Because that will you get me? Even the ones that, it's like a lot of them was just coming from their opinions. That's why I kept saying, I would come in a little bit, right? And say, such and such, share this again right there. How old was you right here? Because what I was trying to get them to do was listen to what they are saying. And let me share a little bit with y'all too. Because I know y'all probably say, why are you saying that? My buddy had put this picture up. And it was more like certain pride. Okay. I got to watch TikTok. Certain pride. And these two guys was sentenced to 100 years because they was taking advantage of younger people, young men, boys. So it's like when they said that, the only person I could think about in that process was P. Diddy, right? So it's not just this group of people, it's other people that's doing this stuff too. But what the lady was saying, they was trying to push because the kids had on the colorful, their flag thing, and the kids had the shirts on too. So basically, what the lady was saying, it's like they promoting, and that's what I got. They are promoting this, but these people was doing foster care and taking advantage of, the younger. So it clicked what they were saying. But now, my thing is, it's not just them, because they was YTs. This happened in every race, basically, or every nationality, right? And this is the whole point of what he was talking about. He wasn't trying to get them to focus more on the pride thing. He was trying to get people to see that how people take advantage of others, the younger generation, and they use them. Now, mind you, why he was sharing that, because he made it clear why he put it up. Why he was saying that, it took me to my friend in Russia. She's fighting against the government because they mess with bumblebees 5-6 years old, stuff like that. Bumblebees. And I haven't heard from her in a while, but she speaks out. And Facebook took her off. And after a while, I'm like, dang, I ain't here for her. And then, I was gone last year. So I thought maybe something happened to her because she speaks out on this. But to find out, she reached out to me and she invited me to a page that they created. So a lot of times she'll send me messages, or since I'm a part of their group, I can post my stuff on their pages as well. And this is people in Russia. And their thing is because, the same stuff we dealing with here, people becoming unalive for whatever reasons. She might do little investigations on it. People come up missing. She might do little investigations on it. So I'm only sharing this with y'all because by me coming on my life, people see it all over. So I'm understanding that we aren't the only ones that's in Baltimore City, melanated people that's suffering and going through what we're going through. And mainly, they take advantage of your low to moderate income people and families. We was talking about that last night too. And I'm going to say your name anyway, because she really amazed me. And it's Medusa. Everything Medusa was talking about, psychology-wise, is basically what Steve Copeland do as far as fighting against a lot of the stuff that she was talking about. I'm like, wow. And it's like she's a wealth of information because she understands this from where she's at. She's more deeper with information than me. I am a fighter. So I will learn I get to that. Just give me the topic. Give me the topic of what we're going to talk about. And I need to speak on. And I'll do a minimum amount of research to get that point across. Because I got to understand, a little bit about it. That's all. Because I'm going to tell y'all, you got to go up. You got to go up. You got to understand why certain things are happening to the inner city people. You got to understand the only way they're going to decrease your taxes is you decrease the population. Y'all ain't know? That's why it's called gentrification. And you get rid of as many of the impoverished people who needs or who depends or who rely more on the state and the government for funding. That's why prices goes up to maintain for these programs. That's where a lot of the money is coming from, y'all taxes, our taxes. So I ain't going to complain about taxes when I'm making real good money. Where I can still live a good life doing 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day and go home and spend the rest of the time with my family. If I have to get off early and go to a soccer game, or if I have to get off early during this time and take my girls to what was it, modern dance and stuff like that my wife probably couldn't attend, and she would say, Steve, can you do such and such and such? And she would let me know in advance. And I'm like, sure. I will let the job know, dear, that I need a certain time off. So can you give me something kind of close so I can go and attend my son's soccer games or training, where I can go and watch my daughters as they dance and, model and stuff like that? Everybody can't afford to do that. Mainly a melanated one. I would cook, I would clean, I would sew. My kids, if they needed something sewed up, they would come to Dad. Dad, can you do this now? And I need bifocals to put. Like, at one point, I was good at it. I'm like, I even got old now. Certain things I just can't do anymore. If my children need to talk with their dad, Come in and talk with dad. What is going on with you? Because guess what? Dad is considered, this is what Tammy told me, right? She said, Steve, you know who you is? I'm like, nope. I'm just the type of guy that like to help people, right? Sponsored men and women. She said, you are a life coach. I'm like, oh, I like that. Now I got another title. I got many. People give me titles. That's all they are. Ordained deacon. It was just a title. But I know deep in my heart and in my spirit, I am a minister for Christ. So no matter what I do in life, y'all, I can't stop. No matter how I fall, I got to get up. I'll tell y'all where I stumbled and I fell at. Some of y'all, I know y'all gonna do it. Well, you're supposed to be a deacon. You ain't supposed to do this. You ain't supposed to do that. Tell me where it said in the Bible. We fall down, but we get up. That's why when y'all want to quote a scripture to me, I can understand you really don't understand what you're doing. Because you're going to tell me, well, in Ephesians 4 and 5, Paul said this and Paul said that. But yeah, he did. From where he was at during that time in history. Right? You know what I started doing? I started looking up the sins that Paul was doing. What? He said, it's the good in me I ought to do. But he said, it's the evil in me I find myself doing. I said, oh my God, he struggled in his walk. So guess what? It wasn't really about what he did. I had to look at me. And where I might fall short on the ministry, in the ministry. So a lot of times when we fall short, people understand this. We want to back up. Because you feel like you failed God. So a lot of times when y'all come back and you want to say, that don't make no sense. He been married twice. He been married 50 years. I mean, he had 50 wives. But he's still a living example. Even though you fall short, he gets back up. And guess what? My story, just like any other person's story, like a T.D. Jakes, like a Jamal Bryant, like a Eddie Long, you know what? No matter how they might stumble and fall in their personal life, did they step off the ministry? You don't pay attention, do you? You don't pay attention. Now, I stepped off the deacon ministry, but I knew I couldn't stop doing this for Christ. I knew for the body. I knew. Do not get it mixed up. And it's times, right, where I want to turn my back on helping the homeless and less fortunate people like a lot of y'all. I want to turn my back. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like making phone calls. Wait a minute. I need to go look at some more houses. I need to go look at them, see how many bedrooms in them, and if it's like 4 or 5, and if the basement fixed up pretty good where I can put like 2 families in there too, or just 2 women down there, but make them live as comfortable. You know what I mean? I can't go out right now to look at this stuff, to see how I can fix it up, to put people in. No matter how we work, we will never end homelessness. We will never end the violent criminal behaviors. But what I'm saying is, and the unalive rate, and I have to say that for TikTok, right? No matter how, we can slow it down. The goal was with the eye in the sky was to get it under 200. It is under 3 now, which is great, but to get it under 2. Man, a guy was talking about this the other day, about where he's at. And they passed a bill that everyone can basically carry. Everyone. And guess what? Where they had at one point under 200 unalive a year. He said it then blew up. In the city he in. Everybody carrying. So the moment somebody jump, they might take you down. You just trying to say, hey man, or hey woman, just trying to conversate, you gone. But now keep in mind too, if you don't have a good reason for it, you behind bars. A lot of y'all don't realize that. Now, if I skipped away, and I did, from basically, I had to pull my glasses up, y'all, because these are the for me to read the messages or whatever, right? The comments. But see, I have to look down to see. So that's why if you see me, I forgot my regular readers that I normally wear every day, which I have to upgrade them because I think they maybe 200 now. So I have to get it where to make smaller words much clearer for me. But to be honest with y'all, I need to go to the eye doctors. And I will, because I have a referral for the eye doctors and the foot doctor. And I'm going, because I'd rather know. I was telling somebody this the other day. I'm the type of guy. I was telling my my daughter-in-law that, her father-in-law, I'd rather know, because she said something about she left her skeptic whatever that daggone thing is, because she studied nursing, right, to be a nurse. And she said she left her little stethoscope. But guess what, y'all? When she said that, the first thing I thought about was something to go up your boo-boo. And she said, no, not the colonoscopy. I was like, oh. I said, look, I'm like, she said, you had a colonoscopy before? I said, yeah, I had 2. I had one before I turned 50 because it was like some blood and they did it to make sure there wasn't nothing going on in there. So now, once they did it, I didn't have to come back for another 10 years. So I had it done again. And I'm just saying this for you guys. Whatever they gave me to knock me out, it was like, next thing I know, I was woke. I was knocked out. That was that Pope, whatever that stuff was called, that took Michael Jackson out. Man, they gave me that stuff. I was like, boom. I was gone. When they operated on my feet, the stuff they gave me to go out, I was like, boom. I was talking a little bit, right? Next thing I woke back up, they was done and it was over with. And now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? Because I'm a man. See, I ain't afraid to talk about certain things. I'm a man. I was hoping they ain't do nothing to me while I was out. Did y'all take advantage of this? Huh? And that's why a lot of guys don't like doing certain things, mainly when it comes to messing with this right here. Nope, you ain't touching it. But I'm just saying this, y'all, because, I can laugh and joke about it because, believe me, I'm a man, so I understand certain things. Medically, we might not want to go and get done. Now, I look at my teeth. Now I drink a lot of coffee, but my teeth are not white. They never been white. Now, even if I go and I get them, clean and everything, they will brighten up, but it won't be that pure white unless I use that stuff to turn them bright like that. But I didn't know because it's the enamel. It's the enamel. Like from the elephant's tusk and all that type of stuff. And I didn't know. Excuse me. And this first, well, I'm just getting ready to say orthodontics. Well, the first teeth person, I might pronounce certain things. That's why I'm trying to watch it. When he came in to do my false teeth, he had a bunch of teeth, with the certain colors, where some was pure white, some was a certain white, some was a little darker. And he helped me to understand that everybody's teeth is not pure white. So the teeth I've been wearing for the longest time before they got thrown away, the teeth that I was wearing, he matched it up with this. Now I know now because I do the coffee and I do, the dark soda. Yeah, I need to go and, get everything checked again. So my doctor made me an appointment for that, for the eye doctor. I got to make an appointment for the dentist and the foot doctor. So reason why I'm saying all of this because I'm a diabetic. And I know how important it is for us to take care of ourselves. Now I'm gonna share this with you too. My goddamn A1C for the longest time was like 11.5. That's high as heck. When I went to the doctors this time, and the girl, it came down under 8. And I was happy as heck because I haven't been under 8 with the long acting when they check your blood for the last 6 months, 3 months, I'm sorry. Um, Mine's this time was 6.6. I don't, I don't remember it ever being that low, but that's still not low enough. So I'm listening to my new doctor now, right? Now I take 10 milligrams of the long acting. She told me take it down to 8. I said, okay. And I was sharing with her how my blood pressure kept dropping on me. And she want me to I had one, but my daughter didn't send it, right? A blood pressure thing to make sure it's leveled right. Because if it's at a certain level where I don't need it to bring it down, don't take it. So I have to either get my son to get the machine from the house, or I gotta actually buy one, right? So guess what? Now I'm reading up on why my daggone pressure, my blood pressure keep dropping, right? Now, mind you, I'm watching what I eat and everything and stuff like that. Nobody is telling me what to do to balance out that. So I had to look it up. And you know what it said? Because it kept dropping. Use some salt. Because I was trying to avoid like the seasoning and stuff like that. Because I know that can help run your stuff up, real high and stuff like that, right? And because it kept dropping on me, be honest with you, I rather for it to have kept being high than dropping because I would get dizzy and everything. I go, ooh, and I'll fall out. Not understanding why. Nobody told me. Add a little salt. So I got to be careful with that. But since I started adding a little seasoning now or a little salt now, I'm here. So it was 109, 139, I'm sorry, over something else. But I know that was a little high because it's supposed to be like 125 over such and such and such. That's kind of like your norm. But to be honest with y'all, to stop from falling out the way I would do, I wanted it to be back up. Cause I would get up out the bed or I stand up and I'd be like, please don't let me fall out. And when I was telling people that, nobody would tell me, just add a little salt, Steve. Not much. But nobody would tell me. So I had to look it up. What do you do when your, blood pressure keep dropping? Because it was scaring me, y'all. It was scaring me. And nobody with all of this knowledge and technology will say, just sprinkle a little salt. Even if I had took the salt and did like this. So what I do, I fried some fish. I'll eat two. They not real big. It's the what's those? The flounders, real thin one. So one might be a little bit bigger than the other, but they, sizable. Starch, greens, vegetables, I meant. Now I'll eat that around about 8 o'clock. Now I came down to fix me a bologna sandwich with cheese, right? Now I won't eat no more now until around about 8 o'clock. And what I was telling my doctor, a lot of times I only eat like once a day sometimes. And I'm back on my Trulicity. So what that does, that cures my appetite, where I won't go binge a lot. You get me? And because of that, sometimes I'm not hungry when I first get up. So I might grab something because I know I have to put something on me. Excuse me, but that's just for like a snack throughout the day. Because like I was telling them, I will only eat sometimes once a day. Because it cures my appetite, the Trulicity. Now, when I was over the prison, I couldn't eat that food. So I was basically starving myself, not realizing I was starving myself. And I came down to 190 pounds. And for a person that's 6'1", that's where I'm supposed to be, around about 195. Now, if I choose to, do the 190, 180 something, that's fine too. Because a lot of my pants and a lot of my shirts that I brought was like extra long, X. And even though I didn't pick up a little weight, I had boogity boo boo boo, right? So it'll be tight now because I done gained a little weight. Now I don't want to go too far, and only because I'm in the house. And I can do stuff in the house, to kind of like, I do want to like tighten this up. I got, flab here. Look at this right there. I got flab here, right? But the weight is starting to, because I hits myself in my stomach with my injections, right? And I know because of the injection, it kind of makes the stomach. But still, look at my pictures. You see my pictures, it's like I'm slimmed. And I am. I am. But I'm more bigger still up here. If I get a 2X, the 2X going to be too big. If I get a 1X, the 1X going to be okay. But then now, mind y'all, I'm starting to be comfortable with my men boobs. I used to feel so uncomfortable. I would not walk around with no not having a shirt on. So some of my pictures that y'all see me, wearing a white beater and stuff like that, or something along that line, I'm starting to feel more comfortable, self esteem wise. Where I'm taking pictures like that to show, not to show y'all, but I'm just proud of the body thing now. I'm more proud of that. And then y'all know I'm a handsome 26-year-old, right? My, my son was like, "Stop playing, Dad. You know you old." I said, "Boy, I'm going to be 36 in February." So I'm flipping the 63 around, right? And then I'm like, when I turn, wait a minute, wait a minute, it'd be 63. When I turn 54, 64, I'll be 46. He was like, "Stop, old man." I said, "Steve." I told Steve, I said, "Since you the only man boy, right?" I said, "I'm going to have a little brother for you." He said, "Dad, you too old for that." I said, "You ain't lying." I said, "You ain't lying." You ain't lying. I don't know how y'all do it. Now, I love my grandbaby. When she would cry and all that stuff, and I seen she was irritated, I would take her right back to her mother. And then I had my days where I would hold her and do it. I had to play with her to calm her down, and I would throw a little bit because she would just cry, and I wee, whoa, she go. So I had to read up. I'm telling y'all, I had to read up on how do you deal with children, babies that constantly cry. And I be hearing women talk about, "I want me a good man. I want me such and such." I say, "No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you got one right here in front of you and don't even realize it." See, I know who I am as a man. And when I talk about Steve, I'm not talking about somebody that's perfect. I'm talking about a man of good quality and standards. But it's times when I would practice the opposite. That does not make me a bad man. It makes me a man that end up freaking falling short. So this is what I had to learn in this process. If you're going to love me, love all of me. And that's the same way I would have to be when that female come in my life. But see, understand this. My thing is not to take whatever I went through and with my ex and make you the problem. Because you're not that problem like that. I recognize certain things now. So some of the stuff that I hear you say out your mouth, when I hear you bashing and talking against that male, you ain't got to worry about me. Because that goes to show you don't have no respect towards that male. Now, 9 times out of 10, and not everybody, either is daddy issues, is trauma from old relationships. You know what I mean? So I understand. Don't get it wrong. But my thing is, before you get into something else, work on this first so that you won't bring it into your new. And this is what I'm trying to help females understand too. When it gets to that point that I'm able to date, go to dinner, go for walks in the park, hold your hand, buy you flowers, hey girl, I miss that. And you ain't hear me one time say 50-50. You hear me one time say 50-50. Or if I take you out to eat, me and you go to dinner, you got to pay for yours and I pay for mine. Now I had my daughters and my son take daddy, special occasions, stuff like that. Dad, we just want to take you out to eat. And you ain't got to pay for nothing. I'm like, okay, let's go. Because they know their father is used to being responsible and productive. So, and I'm not, throwing me out, but this is what I want to say too in this process. I deal with a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot of women and children. If I want to sleep around, I can. That's not a problem. So the goal is you have to trust me. I have never yet, and I really don't plan to, because when it comes to business, it's not to get business and pleasure mixed up. And most of the females are in a very, very um, vulnerable state. And I'm the type of guy, because I'm so used to, being that protector, I'm too close. So I have to learn to back up now. I take females shopping to get, their bra and underwears, brand new stuff. If you come in and I see you don't have, the finances to, or you don't have the clothes and the nightwear that you need, you know what I mean? I have no problem taking you until you get some finances to maintain from there. I have done that where I spent my own money. I had guys that I got jobs for, and they decided they wanted to quit their job. So then who gonna pay for your space? Because you can't live here free. That's not the purpose of a transitional housing unless they get grant money to, pay for your space. So if you come into my housing program, because I don't get grant money, I have to charge you. If you work in a job where you're not making a lot of money, the goal is to get you in a better paying job or get you into apprenticeship program, excuse me again, or workforce development program, where you would be making well over $20 an hour. Because that becomes a professional, career-minded job for somebody that's making 12. And then you get into a profession where you make at least 20 starting out. It might not seem like a lot of money to somebody that's making 30, $40 an hour, but if you just got in making that much, that's fine. But you didn't work to get to that point. If you start in a job that's paying you like that, 9 times out of 10, it's a professional, career-minded job. That's difference between a Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's or Walmart or Target. So the goal with Steve and TikTok, the goal is to encourage, to motivate, to empower people. And to be truthful, y'all been watching me doing it enough. And I know, even with Facebook, unless it's AI generated or something, somewhere along that line, it's like y'all watching us. And that's not a good feeling to know that you're being spied on like that. Because one day before I even opened up my mouth, they sent me a daggone restriction. I said, what? I ain't said nothing yet. And whoever did it probably like, oop, I was out of order with that one. Yes, you was. I know people who, got they the host was taken down for a while because of how other people were speaking and saying things. And it's a shame when you open up a dialogue, right? Of like keeping it real, being honest. Now, some people, because some of us know that you have to play with your words, you can't use certain words, and they know how to substitute those words. Some people don't. And you have to tell people, you can't say that, you can't say this. So now you're doing F1, now you're doing TikTok shop, now you're doing this. And it actually takes away that desire, in a sense, to want to come on here. Very sensitive. Very. And I'm going to get ready to wind down. But I just want to say this to a lot of people. And I just want to say, cool as black woman. That's my cousin, y'all. And she came on because she feeling really down. The holiday, you know. Her grandfather passed away during this time, which is which he would be my uncle. I want to make sure I don't do great. Her grandfather passed away, and other people during this holiday season, and she was really hurting, and she came on and she was crying, and I thought she was going to tell me somebody else in the family, passed forth, but she was going through state of depression. But now through our conversation, it shifted because we started talking about, the holiday season. Then we started talking about like family. Now I did not know. I did not know that the Copelands are Jews. They are is part Jews in us and Native American. I did not know. Now, the reason why I'm saying this because I did do my ancestry, but that was some years ago. And I didn't read that part. But a lot of the people indigenous in what is it, indigenous slaves, which is the Indians, a lot of them was considered as melanated, the N word on their birth certificates. So they was considered as BLKs, but they was actually Indians, Native Americans. Now I did my history. My cousin did her history because now they are younger and they are a little bit more aware of certain things compared to me. So as I did mines, I went back to the 1600s, and we was talking all about that too. And she was showing me pictures of people. Basically, I seen, but I didn't actually know how they was related to us. And then she showed me a picture of her grandfather. I said, I seen that picture somewhere because he had on the red jacket. Like, I said, I seen that picture. I don't know if that picture, and I'm thinking Uncle Johnny. Uncle Johnny, I'm thinking this was Uncle Johnny on with my Uncle Henry and them. But they was all brothers and stuff. And I showed her a picture of our great grandmother with them as children. So now we moved away from feeling down and out at that moment to actually educate each other and showing each other the pictures that we have. I showed her a picture of my great grandfather. Now I'm trying to get a picture of my grandfather. I remember him when I was younger and he passed, but I don't have a picture of him. But I got a picture of his father. And he was born in 1875, his father, or 77. And then when I looked on the paper, I did not realize that my great great grandmother, which is his mother, I'm only thinking she had one kid. She had three. Well, altogether four, I'm sorry. Four. And during that time, she was living in the house, even though they was free by this time, I think. But she was living in the house with the slave master and his wife and their kids. So her kids, and I'm thinking about it now, it was like my great great grandfather was included into the family as the husband and the wife child. And she was mentioned down as, some kind of way the mother. And they might have been the other kids, the children that I kind of read about that was my great 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 grandfather's children, might have been all four kids. But then it's a page, right? And they all YTs basically of Copelands. Because it started out like Copley, Copeland, and then it went to, wait a minute, Copeland. Then it ended up going to Copeland because, it started breaking down throughout the years. And I'm kind of like, I did my research on it, so I see it. And why? This page popped up with the Copelands. And their research showed the same things. And y'all know I had to join it. Because I said, oh my God, this is what I searched up too. And they are mostly YTs. So when my cousin said that we are mixed with, like, our nationality wise, is part Jewish and Native American. I didn't know. Because a lot of us, and understand this, like my cousin was saying too, even though a lot of people came from Africa, from their research, she don't believe that as far as us came from Africa, because y'all already know melanated people was here anyway. And the people that they brought over was basically brought over to work the land for less than nothing. That's why it's called servitude. That's why it's called slavery, basically cheap labor. And it wasn't just melanated men. Read up on your history. When it came to some of them, being hung and all this type of stuff, wasn't just melanated men. But see, when you don't kind of like just check up. You ain't some people real deep with it. I'm not that deep. I only learn enough to have a conversation. Now, if you remember the continent, remember the weather during that time, if you know all of that, that's fine. That's fine. Even if I read it to understand certain things, the moment I turn my head, it's like gone. And I started learning that about me through my process when I had to start learning to change my old ways of thinking, stop trying to figure stuff out. So I had to stop putting a lot of stuff here, to load down this. And I had to learn to start keeping life as simple as possible. That's why I try not to judge anybody for what your ideas are, what your opinion is. Because if you haven't experienced it, just your ideas and stuff, can be very, very important. You might be at a certain level where I'm at from here and say, well, bro, if you try it this way, you try it that way, might take you to that next level. Now, and if I listen to you and it sounds, about right, then I'll do it. Just to see if this, because that might be God telling you to tell me something. That's why I started praying not to, like, if somebody want to share their ideas, what they think, how they feel, listen, Steve. Listen, Steve, because sometimes, you might see stuff a little brighter compared to where I'm at right here. That's all. I came on the other day, and I was on about 5 hours. And I want to make this clear to a lot of y'all. Even though we have the right to vote, we have that right to vote. And we have that right that if we don't want to vote, we don't have to vote. Stop beating somebody up if they tell you they didn't vote. And you want to sit back and say, well, if you ain't voted, what's your name would have got in, not him. And I'm going to share this with you too. When Elon Musk came on board, I don't know if y'all thought about it. He got Tesla. He built robots. He know how to play with numbers. And then when he asked him to be a part of his team, see, you got to understand, why are he asking these businessmen, billionaires basically? They're not politicians. Y'all get it so mixed up. Who have a business and don't want to make a profit? Who do you know have a business that became a millionaire, billionaire without having employees? I don't know too many of them that might have done it on their own. Because it's normally your employees that causes your business to grow, where you can earn a profit from your business. If they believe in your dream, they believe in your vision, they come in with their services, and the goal is to help you continue doing what you're doing because you're providing financial assistance to them. The whole goal is to find a way to get the same stuff done, but in a cheaper way. That's why I like coming on speak on certain things, because I hear y'all pumping him up. and then want to bash the Democrats, and y'all forgot they all work together. They're human beings. One is no better than the other. Oh, the Dems this, oh, the Dems that, oh, the liberals this, the liberals that. I don't understand nothing about the left wing, the right wing, the chicken wing, the pony wing. I don't understand none of that. I just understand where I stand at on certain things when it comes to the people. You looking at your millionaires, your billionaires who really don't want for nothing in life. So who they really helping? And I understand the point about creating jobs. I understand the point about like donating to these nonprofit organizations as philanthropists where they can do write-offs. I understand all of that. I understand all of that. But the thing is certain ones of them walking into the inner city community, embracing the people that need their help the most. Y'all won't talk on that level. You won't. And then being a conservative, living a middle-class lifestyle, you are the next poor generation. It's like, who's those people right there? Why they need food stamps? And it's a lot of people that live in these more conservative areas, like your counties. Guess what? A lot of them lined up when you come in with a food truck to get food. But they got money out the yang yang. I don't hear y'all talking about none of that. You know how I can say that? Because I was going to Ellerton, Maryland to get pallets to put on my truck to bring back into the inner city to give back to the people. So I seen them come up in nice cars and all that. And to get ready to end this, if I didn't learn to change my old way of thinking and people, places, and things, I would be practicing the same old behaviors. I get so many people that feel like they need to correct me. I get so many people that feel like they need to shape and mold me. But when I ask them, what are you doing to build back up in the communities of the people that need your help the most? Well, see, blah, blah. And I said, wait a minute, what are you doing? So I'm learning that stop doing that too, Steve. Because a lot of people's just on here to talk. But a lot of people don't have no working solution or intervention ways, programs to rehabilitate and all of this. They just want to do this. And you cannot tell some of them they're not right. You can't. You can't tell them nothing. Because their mindset is where it's at. And my thing is, I try to help people understand, listen to the person that's sharing their personal experience of why they did certain things, because you can learn from it, their mistakes. That's why I come on this. And I'll share about, certain little things that I did. And I'll share with you what I did. to be able to come up out of it and stay out of it a day at a time. Now, if you choose to use that to help better, improve your life, that's great. That's great. Now, I would be shocked, right? Because the day is Christmas. That when I get ready to go on my phone, right? Did my family send me something? Now, Lord Steve sent me a message. Happy, Merry Christmas, stuff like that, right? And you know what? Which I understood my cousin feeling depressed during this time. I don't feel bad. I got other people that sent me some stuff like Merry Christmas back, blah, blah, blah. But since I started doing this, it's like my family became strange to me. And it's a hurting feeling if they think the people that I raised, because I come on my live and they not used to this, that something is wrong with me. And I was telling my cousin said, you remind me of Uncle such and such and such. You remind me of this family members because they spoke out on things that wasn't right. So you got to understand, my grandfather was born in 1909. His father, 1877. I might have said 75, but 1877. And I'm looking at like my other uncles, which they would be over 100 now if they were still living, because my mother would be around. I'm 62. She's 26 years older than me, so she would be around 88. So we talking about our ancestors. Now, Charlie kept telling me last night, right, that it's like I say spiritual. I say that spiritual connection. I be talking about how God used me, not realizing Charlie said last night, that's the ancestors using you in the way that they use you. I didn't look at it on that level. And then for my cousin to tell me that basically you remind me of Uncle such and such and such. You remind me of Uncle, because they was basically warriors and fighters. And you got to understand, we talking about during their time. And like I tell y'all, I don't know where this come from. Because by trade, I am a professional truck driver. But I was guided into this area. So everything I'm saying, Charlie and my cousin is bringing to fruition. And if I pronounce that name wrong, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So just hearing this, I'm like, wow. And anytime you speak out against certain things, you become a target. And I'm like, that's what's happening. And I understand some of y'all jobs, rather to encourage, motivate, empower, some of y'all jobs are to actually tear people down. To tear people down. You can't find nothing positive and encouraging to say. So you rather come And the moment you start talking negative, I watch it. You might get 1,000 likes. Because know why? Other people can relate to your negativity, that negative energy. And I'm looking at Jamal Bryant while I'm saying this. And his marriage. They up there dancing, this man enjoying himself. And you got all these people want to come behind and criticize. So I'm just saying that because that's how we do each other. And I see more of that with us. More of that with us. It just seemed like whoever just promotes something negative, I watch people come, pew, 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 pew. I'll be looking at 7,000 hits, 10,000 hits. And the moment somebody come in and try to clear it, you might see about 5 people. I say, look at this. And it's basically us. It's basically us. So I'm listening to Umar, y'all. I'm listening to Dr. Umar, and he doing his seminars, and I'm like, you go, bro. You go, bro. Even though he had his degree and everything in psychology and stuff like that, and when he speak out the way he speak out, that's because he's a community activist. So he separates his profession, and he's knowledgeable, or the way he used words, because I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, basically everything he say, I say, but it's just the way he words it. That somebody might pay more attention to. Because I notice when I speak with certain people, it's like I'm going womp, 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 womp to them. And somebody else can repeat everything that I said. And for some reason, they get it. I seen it happen. I see it happen so many times. Even when I was over the prison. And I would say certain little things. It was like some people just didn't get it. And it was this one guy that would always kind of repeat because he got what I said. But he used his words and they caught it. And I be saying to myself, ain't that just what I said? So I don't know, for some people, is it the person in general that's presenting it? And you might look at that person in a negative way or whatever, I don't know. But for you to receive it, when I'm putting it out, some people get it. And I had to start questioning myself. When I open up my mouth, am I speaking English? Do you understand English? Or what I be saying? And what I say might sound rubbish, but it's always somebody that catch it and they repeats the same things, but it's coming from them. And they understand. I'm like, what the what? Didn't I just say that? I get it all the time. That's why I started praying and asking God to, work with me in the way I deliver stuff. But the goal with that too, y'all, I don't want to lose me and trying to please everybody else. I want to stand firm on my morals, beliefs, and all this type of stuff, right? Not based around how you feel and what you think. And then I started understanding I'm not going to please everybody, even though I might get into this phase, y'all, where you know how we want to save everybody. And I'm starting to realize, Mr. Copeland, you can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. So some going to get it and some just not going to get it. That's all it is to it. I know a lot of people that manipulate and play with our people, and for some reason, y'all right on them. You right on them. I don't know what that is too, but I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. And it's been 2 hours and 5 minutes. I'm going to go and make small clips and I'll send it over to my actual TikTok. Because once I stop doing this live, it's going to shut it down. And some I'll send over to Instagram. I'm already live streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and 2 of my Facebook pages. Stephen Copeland Senior, no, Stephen Copeland, I'm sorry. Stephen Copeland at 909, Stephen Copeland 909 at yahoo.com. And then the other one is Stephen Copeland 59 at yahoo.com. Now, my Stephen Copeland 909, I have over 5,000 followers, but I have 5,000 Facebook friends. So you know you can't add on, you got to start deleting some off. And I will add new people on that I might have 200 or 300. We might have 200 or 300 friends in common. So if we have that many friends, 9 times out of 10, either you're a church member or you're an NA member or you just somebody that I grew up basically around. So I'll send you a friend request. Or if you send me a friend request and I'll see that we got at least 100 or more, it all depends on where I'm at. Because, and I see who you connected with. If I see you connected with people like Lady J, if I see you connected with Cherie Rogers, or if I see you connected with Christopher Anderson, certain people like that, I know 9 times out of 10, you work in a community. If I see we're connected with mostly NA friends, and that might be 300, 400, 500 or 1,000, then I know you from NA. Church members, 300, 400, then I know you go to the Church of Redeemed. So I'm kind of familiar with certain things, but the reason why I'm saying it too, I watch the way y'all feed on my feed. Y'all post, whenever you post on your page, it shows up on my feed. Whatever I post on my page, it shows up on your feed. You don't like, you don't comment, at least to let me know you there. How we get to that point? How do we get to that point? Mainly when a lot of y'all know that I am a God-fearing man. How do we get to that point? And I see your stuff and I'll put a heart in there, I'll push like, I'll make a little comment, and I'm getting to the point now, I'm like, I ain't putting nothing. Because you can post something and you want everybody to respond to your stuff. Mainly if we're church members and we connected. You post something and I see it, and I'll see the same brothers that I laughed and I kid and I joke with, because I've been at this church, I'm going to say a day at a time, for 23 years. And I see y'all right there. And to me, it's sad. Because I watch when our children was children, and now our children have children. I ushered with some of y'all, on the men's choir with some of y'all. When I got into acting, doing the theater thing around the church with some of y'all. Hey, Chris. And I see it. But see, too, I'm going to do this, right? Because some of you are so heavenly bound that you're no freaking earthly good. All right. All right. I'll inbox you. Yeah, I seen it. I seen you post it. I seen y'all post it. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, I seen it. So I don't want to do that because I was getting ready to say, you see, when we kind of struggling and need support, where the support really don't come from sometimes. So I don't know. God do things for a certain reason, but that's what I begin to understand too. I will, cause I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. I'll talk with you and suggest something to you, cause they probably need your help anyway. So I'll when I go upstairs after I get off this and put my stuff on the chargers, I'll 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 call you. I'll inbox you my new number. But I'm just saying this, y'all, and it's not to knock basically anyone, but this is what I said, right? I know who you are. And I know when a lot of y'all see me face to face, hey man, what's up? How you been? And I'm gonna try my best not to look at you like you crazy. I'm gonna try my best. You know, I'm gonna try my best not to look at it in a negative way, but because I know you love Christ like I do. You're a God-fearing man. You supposed to be your brother's keeper. We supposed to be there for each other. So see, to me, that's all good talk. You get me? You get me? Because when a brother really needs y'all, at one point I remember y'all had my back. So I don't know what made you go this way, like you running from me, but I know who you is. And it is so hard for me to ask y'all to help me financially. It is so hard because I'm so used to taking care of Steve Copeland. I'm so used to not asking people basically for anything in that sense. But then it got to the point I fell down and I needed help. And it's like everybody turned their backs. But see, what God did, He allowed me to see who's who. Y'all might not realize it. Who's there for you, who talk a good game, who don't actually, and this is your word now, but we'll do things to impress everybody else. Because understand, for me, I had to realize what God called me to do. God first, then man. because so many, I try to like please man first and then God. But some years ago, I learned I had to switch it around. God first, then man. Then man will see the things that you are doing for the body. That's why I was telling Marlo, because my thing is more about action. Because I talk a lot. I talk a lot. I already know that. So the goal is for my actions to speak louder than anything I can say out my mouth. Because y'all know what I'm about. Brandon Scott know what Steve Copeland about. Ivan Bates know what Steve Copeland about. Tony Hayes know what Steve Copeland about. Antonio Glover know what Steve Copeland about when it comes to helping around in the inner city. I can go on. I can go on. The polices know what Steve Copeland is about. That's why they came up with those fake charges. It might not have been that officer personally, because he was trying to prove a point. I already know all this. And then the detective got mad at me and decided to throw, guess what? Burglary. First degree assault, second degree assault, burglary, and harassment toward my female client, and a fake police report that I didn't know nothing about until the day I was supposed to go to court the next day. That was the first time I heard the police report. What type of bull crap is that? And a lot of y'all that understand the system basically helped me understand. It was like you waived your rights. No, I didn't. But I didn't realize, certain things. And that's what you do when you basically a ward of the state, period. And his brother started telling me, not just him, because I was on here last night talking to another brother that was very familiar with the process. And a lawyer was on this page. And they were saying stuff like, the judicial system is basically screwed up. And this was a lawyer too. This guy was feeding me. And I said, wait a minute, did me and you talk about this before? He said, no, I don't remember. But guess what? Everything he was saying, somebody else was telling me. And it was another guy, and I got to send him my number. He was telling me for what happened to me, what I can do to clear this up. And he said, do you know they have to pay you back for your time, that they inconvenienced you? They violated, number one, the Freedom of Speech Act. Now, when it's like speaking out, right? To me, I thought I knew everything, but then I didn't know. So some of the people is clearing stuff up for me. That's what happens when you come on stuff like this and you share where you at and what's going on. Is somebody out there that understand how the system will get you and play you. Now, the prosecutor knew I didn't do anything. I already know that I ain't had to depend on her. They know who made these fake charges. They know. The judge, the first judge said it. He said, this don't go together. So rather than them dropping it, They wanted to find something that they can find me guilty of. So I was found guilty by association. We know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. But it was just the point you was there. I'm like, what? Because you know I didn't do this. You know I didn't do that. But better yet, you wanted to find something to throw there. I said I was going to stop talking about this. I said I was going to stop. I said I was going to stop. Because it's coming to the point I can show you better now than what I say. So it's just now I have to pull out my paperwork and see what rights of mine that was violated. See? And not only that, like I said, being on this home monitor, I came off November the 4th, which supposed to have been, y'all call yourself saying 8 years served for this, but 2 years all suspended. 6 years suspended all but 2. And because I pleaded guilty and it was considered as time served, because I came on it March of last year. So March of this year will be 2 years of time served. So I have to stay on this box until March. I didn't understand all that. Now I do, because I didn't realize I had actually got convicted to 3 years probation. Why? Why? And then I got a big mouth. So I'm going to basically, which I'm trying not to do, is tell my probation officer, Steve Copeland, is a community activist. Steve Copeland is a human rights advocate. Steve Copeland, the officer set Steve Copeland up. Now, she don't know this, so it's not to tell her. But that's where my mouth will take me. So the goal is, if this is what I got to do, then I'll do what I got to do. The reason why, because Marlo works with ex-offenders and returning citizens. He worked with parole and probation to do a peer program for them. So I'm understanding, I'm learning how to do certain things on a different level with that too now. So like I told her, it's like I'm being taught of how their process work. So that can be a mouthpiece for me to encourage our men or women that's on parole and probation, how important it is to get involved in these programs. Because that's what I sent my parole officer a message and say, I'll sign up for this, I'll sign up for that. So basically, you have to live certain things in order to help people understand what to do. That's how I had to look at it. That's how I had to look at it. I got to pay $50 a month for parole and probation. I got to pay $400. Now, since I've been convicted, I didn't even know I was convicted. It was ASAP that told me, Brad, you cool, bro. You didn't even tell me I was convicted. You didn't even tell me. ASAP explained it to me. And then they said, because you're not going through that process again, where the state was actually paying for it, now that you've been convicted, you have to pay for it now. I said, I ain't got no money to pay for it. And guess what? They working with me. They told me how much I had to, pay leading up to March. I said, thank you. I got to pay them $400 a month for the next 3 months, starting January, for something I didn't do. And you know what? The prosecutor even said it herself. We know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. But it was like, I'm going to screw you anyway. I said, okay. Ivan Bates, when I come to the town hall meetings and you there, or whatever community events you might be at, my name is Steve Copeland. I was guilty by association. So now you are guilty, Ivan Bates, by association. Okay? Brandon Scott, you are guilty by association. Because y'all know what Steve Copeland do. So since you want to play that game, we know you didn't do this. We know you didn't do that. We know you didn't know that they was going to swing on him. We know you didn't know they was going to take his phone. Oh, they did? But you was guilty even though you was in the hallway by association. So my thing was, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You should have thrown it out. You was trying to convince me that homeless people, and if they have some permanent place to go, for you to send them information to come to court and all that type of stuff, like I'm dumb. Because you had to catch up with them. We suppose they went to court this day. It got postponed. We suppose they went to court that day. It got postponed. So this was actually the first time I'm stepping up in the court. And still could not explain to the judge what was what. Because y'all know you fixed it where I couldn't say nothing. Stop thinking everybody is dumb. Because you are a lawyer. You are a prosecutor. You are a judge. And the only thing y'all might understand more than a lot of us is the judicial system, if I said it right, and how y'all use that to screw. And that's what I told my lawyer. Because guess what? I'm saying it for myself. How y'all screw a lot of innocent people. And I'm seeing it for myself. And I told my lawyer, I said, their goal is just to screw the man. He said, somewhat. And after the prosecutors was saying what she said, and I called myself doing the plea deal thing, and you told me. I said, look at this. And you proud of yourself. And I'm talking about the prosecutor. And then to find out you used to be a defense attorney. And then you switched over. My thing is how you live with yourself. When you used to defend people, and now you at the point where you want to hang them or crucify them. How did that switch come? Hang them by the neck, crucify them. Two YTs. Two. Now, y'all hear what I'm saying. When you, or when it happened to you, or one of your family members, and you see what's going on, then you'll sit back and say, oh my God, I remember Mr. Steve was on here talking about such and such and such and such. Because I didn't never think it was going to happen to me. So if you live in a certain way, and it wasn't like I was stealing money, doing this and doing that, it was none of that. I got videos of us being out there arguing. And I'm telling the police, your job is to protect and serve. By me being a community activist, I'm in the community trying to encourage and motivate people to do the right things. So I'm like, y'all get paid. I don't get paid to be in the community like that. I'm on the front line. And we out there arguing with each other like wild animals in the streets. Me by myself and the police. Because I'm trying to get them, all in all, to help me get my clients the proper mental health that they need. And they would not do their job. So I would have to run down to the courts, talk with the judge, tell the judge what I do and everything like that, right? So the judge would get the paperwork. They would bring it to the district. The judge told me twice, Mr. Copeland, you're not supposed to be here. I said, Your Honor, I know. But because they kept saying, a landlord tenant, I said, this is not how the housing program goes. Landlord tenant. I said, I am the tenant. They are my clients. Landlord tenant. They were saying this so much, they almost drove me crazy. So I said, well, I'm going to go do this. But we don't do, and a lot of people don't know, we don't do, when you have a housing program, regular eviction. It's not a rooming place. It's not landlord tenant stuff where you sign a rental agreement or you sign a lease. It's basically it's verbal. 30 days, 14 days, 7 days, and also 72 hours eviction. But it doesn't go through the court system. So I had to find another way to get them escorted out if I wanted to do that. But see, now guess what? The police don't know. That's all they was hollering, landlord tenant. I said, no, this is a business. Landlord tenant. I said, no, I am the tenant. These are my clients. Landlord tenant. I'm like, they don't stop this bull crap. And as a result of that, the tenant went to jail. And guess what happened after that? Both houses got closed down. So what they did, they took homeless people and made them homeless again. but I'm the bad guy. And no matter what I do, because I'm on here like this, I'm the bad guy. Because I speak out. That's what makes me the bad guy. Oh my God, there he go again. The Couch Conversation Show. There he go again. The Couch Conversation Show. The Couch Talk. There you go again. Fly right over your head. Pew, pew, pew. And I'm going to tell y'all, I watched it last night. When these females was on there talking about like where they at and what they do, why they do what they do, people was not paying attention. And I'm going to tell y'all, I was doing it to be smart. Because this female like females, this female like females, stuff like that, right? So I would point it back out. How long, I mean, how old was you when you realized you like this and you like that? And I was telling them, the ones that were steady doing this, I said, listen to what they said. They sharing their personal experience. You trying to tell somebody, right? And one lady that was on there said, I was born like this. Some guy said, no, you didn't. Blah, 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 blah. Listen to what they said. Because number one, that's not a decision you make overnight. This one lady that kept arguing with everybody, talking about how her cousin husband went to prison and he got violated, blah, 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 blah. And he came home and left her and went with a man. I said, no. You don't turn around and certain things happen to you, then you come home and then be with a man. I said, no. Oh, that's my family. I don't have a heap. Now, when BG said something, it was like it sunk in. Yeah, because it might have been some. I said, this woman is flip-flop, flip-flop. It all depends. It's like who you want to listen to and receive stuff from. Everybody was on there telling her. She coming for everybody. I don't care what you did. One minute she's a Christian, next minute she's not a Christian, and then all that stuff. But you coming at people with Bible and man shouldn't, you know, but you saying stuff, you talking. Then look, she got to the point, me and her got into it. Cause I'm like, you're not making us look good as believers. Oh, F you, blah, blah, blah. I said, here we go. So, you know, I went, look, you don't be blah, blah, blah. You don't be blah, blah, blah. So she steady going, so you really can't hear what she's saying. Because no matter what, anytime somebody else talk, she over talking everybody, not letting them get out what they had to say. And my thing was, shut up. Because it's a poor conversation. When you talk, I'm supposed to listen. When I talk, you supposed to not listen, right? That's not a healthy way to communicate. But to some people, to keep cutting in while you're trying to get your point across, they want to come right in. Then they can say what they want, and then they're shut down. And the moment they open up their mouth, now you're going to unmute. And I see it all the time on here. And sometimes it's 3 or 4 that's attacking that one person. So now here I come. Hold up, y'all. Hold up, y'all. Because listen, they share from their personal experience. And I think it's sad when we do that to people. I ain't got to like what you say, but respect what you say. And that's what I had to learn. And everybody has some good points about the topic and the conversation, it was deep, but it got so chaotic that the viewers went up to 500 because people was coming in, what they over there talking about, what they arguing for, why they blah, 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 blah. And be honest with you, all in all, it was a learning lesson because I said, y'all are educating me about things that I really didn't pay attention to, because whatever you choose to do in your life is your business. Now, when you explaining to somebody why you do what you do towards what they might not believe, listen to what that person is saying. Talking about, yeah, because I don't want nobody with my grandkids, this and that, this and that. We're not talking about your grandkids right now. And if your grandkids come up and be a certain way, that's their choice. I definitely must have been on here about 5 hours. All right, family. Thank y'all. What time is it? It's almost 7 o'clock. So I just want to say thank y'all for helping me kill time. I gotta say that. Thanks. What you mean share? Cause you going in and out. I'm getting ready to click my Instagram off, y'all. Now people can see it, right? But it's blinking in and out. But I'm getting ready to end this. Turn off comments. No. No. I want to send me the other one. Why is it saying pause? Reconnected. Reconnected. Okay. And now, see, it probably didn't save because it just ended, but it's probably not saved. And that's what it did the other day. Yep, it didn't save. And I'm okay with that because it's blinking in and out. And it's probably something else that I have to do over here because the first couple of times when I went live, it, saved. But I don't know why it's not saving now. And I don't know why it's losing connection. Let me end this right here too. Love y'all, and I'm out. Let me end this. And I really appreciate it because I came down here about 4 or 5. And